Welcome one and all to my Transformers movie reviews on this channel. So we're going to talk about the 2007 film Transformers, directed by Michael Bay. And this film stars Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, Josh Duhamel, Tyrese Gibson, Jon Voight, Jon Turturro, and many among others in this film. The plot is centered around, well, you probably know the story, you probably know Transformers doesn't really need to have a big deep story, but the plot centers around the Autobots arrive on Earth to find their missing cube called the AllSpark so they can recreate their home planet Cybertron with along the help with Sam Witwicky and of course his former love interest Michaela, as they both join forces to go find the AllSpark before the Decepticons find it, destroy planet Earth and wipe out mankind and create new machines. And you got these various other subplots trying to enter into the film's overall story, even though it does connect in certain ways, but the execution, some are left to be desired. Let's just say that. Now, if you go back in 2007, this film is huge. You know, back in the time when Transformers at its peak, where everyone was all hyped for this film, I remembered, when I first saw the teaser trailer, when I went to see Night in the Museum, when it first came out, I remember seeing the trailer for it, I remember going, what is this? Is that an alien movie or something? The hype for this film, and then the moment I saw this big giant robot right at the end, and then a title came up, it just says, Transformers. I remember going, what? Transformers? What is that? My dad said, you might like this. This is actually pretty good. You might like this. This might be your age group. So I was kind of like, okay, let's see what it does. And around the time this film released, I've just seen so many trailers and advertisements, so I remember going, okay, I want to check this out. And, time at this age when it came out, I was about 12, pushing up 13 at the time when it came out. I was around in my age group. I would say I really liked this film when it came out, and over the years, I do enjoy it. I think I have a soft spot in my nostalgia from the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, more like. But looking at it now as a grown adult, I'm 30 years old, I'm pushing up 31 in July. I would say, for the most part, I liked it still. I think it's decent, it's watchable, it's entertaining, it gets your blood pumping, but as a movie, it's not great. It has its issues. There are a couple of things that it doesn't hold up as much, but if you look at it as a dumb, guilty pleasure, just a dumb, straight-up action movie, yeah, it's there. You get some good enjoyment out of it. I'll start by saying this. I do like Michael Bay as a director. He does have some good stuff going for it with the stunt work, the cinematography-wise, the visuals, which the visuals in that film are still top-notch. Even for nearly 20 years, this film still holds up very, very well. It doesn't age like milk. It ages like wine, fine wine to me. Fine as wine, nonetheless. I'll start by saying this. The story itself, while very basic, it does keep it straightforward. It is easier to follow, even though there's so many subplots, surrounding this AllSpark storyline. You've got all these various subplots, but it does try to connect in some ways. Like I previously mentioned, some of them does connect very well, but others left to be desired because it does feel like it's just trying to shove so many plots. There's all these different characters trying to add an exposition heavy or certain story points, which doesn't go anywhere as much, but even though it tries to connect. And of course, you've got the characters. Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf. I do like Shia LaBeouf as an actor, but his character Sam, he's alright, I guess. He's decent. I think his character is very basic, just a very typical teenage kid, trying to fit in this world. I mean, Koji bought this Camaro, which is basically an Autobot Transformer, which is really known as Bumblebee, which I will admit, when the moment they do get the car, that's when they start picking up interest in. And of course, we do get a chance to get to the Autobots, so if we see Bumblebee for the first time, of course, when he fights off this Decepticon, Transformer Barricade, which is a police car thing. It's there. It's cool, actually. You don't get that much fight of them, but you do get a scene with Sam Michaela gets chased by this little mini Decepticon, which is chasing them, and he takes off Sam's pants, which, again, it's a typical Michael Bay shtick we do get to see, and you just, basically, the Decepticon just grabs Sam's trousers and starts pulling down, and when he's wearing his underwear, which, come on, that's a bit silly, because, again, I don't want to say he's sexualizing Shia LaBeouf, but I think I just added in for comedy-wise, instead of just adding it for a purpose. So, again, It's Michael Bay doing Michael Bay shtick. As far as Shia LaBeouf's character Sam Witwicky, yeah, like I said, he's a generic, typical, boy main character. Doesn't really have much substance. Doesn't really develop as a character. But you do get some moments with him. But it didn't really develop him as a character. He's just a very, generic, throwaway character. Of course, you do have his love interest in the film, Michaela, played by the one and only Megan Fox, which, I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, when I was in my teenage years, I do have a crush on Megan Fox, a long time ago, but even though I don't have a crush on her now, but I will admit, yeah, as a teenager, including you guys, if you guys are watching this, you might have a crush on her. Remember seeing her for the first time, where all men Google eye on her a lot, and especially when you opens up the hood on the Camaro, or Bumblebee more like, and she bends down and Sam checks her out, and you see her fine body of hers, which, not gonna lie, that was cinema peak. And I gotta say this, Michael Bay, if you're watching this, thank you for that wonderful scene. Thank you. You made this teenage boy right here so happy. Yeah, she's there to be hot. Her acting is alright, I guess, but she's just very flat wooden, and she just gives us very stale dialogue and some of the questionable stuff she says. She does have her moments. That said, she's just there to be hot, mostly. And of course, you got these other, like I said, various other characters, but it takes away, it's just focusing more on the humans now, and you get to see the Transformers, which we'll get to Transformers in a little moment with the characters. But we do see other characters like Josh Duhamel's character, who's the captain of the army, and of course, you've got Tyrese Gibson, an actor I do really like. He's based in other movies. He's famously known in the Fast and the Furious movies, which he has some charisma. He does have some decent stuff to him, which a lot of time I see him, I go, oh, it's Tyrese Gibson from that Fast and the Furious franchise. Of course, Josh Duhamel, he's an actor as well. He does bring some good talent to him. And of course, you do have some moments when he's in the desert and they're trying to escape from that after the attack from that Decepticon from their base. And of course, when you walk into this desert, this giant scorpion transformer comes in and it starts firing them and shooting them. And of course, Josh Duhamel's character phones this company trying to reach out for help. It's like kind of like a scammer, which I'll try to watch what I'm saying here, but kind of like a scammer phone call, and this guy tries to say, can you speak clearly on the phone? And you're asking for a package deal, and he says, I don't want a premium package! It's another Michael Bay shtick, which we all know they're going to have in the movie, which, oh, good God, why? Again, there's going to be some Michael Bay shtick, especially when he's handling the actors, certain dialogue, certain scenes, and some hot, sexy aura about that stuff, and some of the slow motion effects, especially when Ironhide does that, barrel roll jumps and go and turn upside down when he's shooting the cannons, when he's trying to fight this Decepticon. You get this one scene with this girl just screaming it in slow motion. I remember going like, okay, Michael, that was pretty decent. There's some Dutch angles and certain somber music, and there's no dialogue with certain slow motion effect. Yeah, very interesting in a certain way. And like I said, I've got nothing against Michael Bay. Like I previously mentioned, he does have his moments. He is decent enough. He does make some good movies in the before, and he makes some really decent stuff. But some of the stuff he did in this film, because I think he has too much creative control. In this film, it's fine, but we'll get to the sequels later on the time. But how many times there's like, Michael, what are you doing? This is not Transformers anymore. This is like your own movie you're creating. You're just trying to put a stamp on it. It says, yeah, it's Transformers movie, but it's actually Michael Bay Transformers movie, or Bayformers, as it's called. Hold on for a little while. Let's just get to the Transformers. When the Autobots do arrive, just like nearly an hour into the film, we do see the Autobots finally, which finally got a chance to see these characters. Thank God in live action. Mate, seeing all these characters like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Jazz, Ratchet, Ironhide, all these variations of these characters, they look cool, they look decent, and of course we do have the legend himself, Peter Cullen, who does the voice of Optimus Prime. His voice is too iconic. It's just the voice he brings, it's just so much, that every time I hear these voices, I just go, that's Peter Cullen, that's Optimus Prime. He never phones it in. He voiced Optimus Prime from the past, ever since the cartoons came out and all these other variation cartoons, video games. He never left. He doesn't phone it in. He doesn't sound like he was just reading the dialogue. He just puts his performance in. He just sounds like he just wants to be there. And as far as anything else with the Transformers, yeah, they're there, they're cool, but that's all it is. They're not in the movie that much. They don't have much main focus because it always goes back to the humans. Humans comes in with all these other various side plot characters, like Rachael Taylor's character is one of the assistants in the Pentagon house. Especially she goes to Anthony Anderson's house, which Anthony Anderson, yeah, he's fine. He has his funny moments, especially this scene right here, which made me laugh every time.
Listen to me.
Who is? Shut up, Grandma! What are you doing here?
Just give me a break, will you?
Grandma, drink your prune juice!
I'm not gonna lie, every time that scene comes up, it's just so good to watch. Again, it's Michael Bay. It's Michael Bay doing his stick again. Of course, we do have Megatron to the film, which Megatron, who is not in the movie that much, he's only in the last half of the film. We do see him in a certain flashback with Optimus Prime telling the story how Megatron crashed and landed the Earth to find the AllSpark. He's been frozen for over 100 years or so, I believe. Of course, he comes back to life, and of course, the moment you do see him, he's voiced by Hugo Weaving, and Hugo Weaving as Megatron, I know Hugo Weaving comes out saying that he's only did it for the money, he wasn't really a big fan of these movies, but I will admit, he does sound like Megatron very well. He does bring that iconic voice, so he doesn't really phone it in, even though he's just only doing this for the paycheck role, which, yeah, that's pretty much it. He does have a cool line delivery, especially when he meets Starscream once again when he's reunited with him. Where is the cube?
Humans have gotten it.
You fail me yet again, Starscream. Get them! Which, I will admit, that scene, a line of dialogue he gives, just so iconic. And of course, we have some other characters, like Jon Turturro's character as Sector 7. He's alright, but he's just, again, it's Michael Bay's shtick. The characters are very, very flat. They're nothing underneath the surface. You do get some cool scenery, action scenes. Again, like I said, the action is serviceable, it's entertaining. When you do the action, this comes on, it's entertaining, it's mind-blowing. The effects, the stunt work, and some of that Autobots and Decepticons, that's what we all want to see. We want to see Transformers kicking ass. That's what I want people to see. You get that, but it goes back to the humans. You're like, can we get back to the Transformers fighting again, please? It's there, you get it, it's there. You do enjoy it, but you don't get enough of that. And of course, we do have Sam's parents. Yeah, they're there. And you do have a dog named Mojo who's on drugs. A drug addict dog. Why is that dog on drugs? They had to give him one of those pills so the dog doesn't go ill or just to get off the drugs or the addict. Like, can you get the dog just to get him off that drug addict dog? Especially when Shia LaBeouf's character Sam says, yeah, that's it, no more of you, crackhead. Yeah. Maybe it's time to take your dog to the vets, Sam. Maybe it's time to take your dog to the vets. And of course, the final battle, like I said, entertaining throughout. And of course, you do get Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting, which is cool. It's not a lot of fights between them, but you do get them. You do get their sense of brotherly, since they have that iconic fight. Humans don't deserve to live. They choose for themselves. Then you will die with them. Again, that's what it is. It's entertaining. And of course, Optimus Prime and Megatron gets killed by Sam by putting the AllSpark into Megatron's chest. Of course, Optimus Prime said this line right there.
You left me no choice, brother.
That scene hits a lot more differently since Transformers 1 last year. Of course, you do have the music score by Steve Bajorski. I hope I pronounced that composer correctly. If I say that wrong, politely, please. Yeah, the score's good. It's kind of similar to Batman Begins in certain scenes. When you do hear the theme, I try not to use the score because just to copyright, but when you do hear that score, it's just, holy crap, it's so good. So entertaining. We're going like, oh, it sounds like Batman Begins, certain stuff, certain scenes. And of course, my favourite score for the film is Arrival on Earth theme, which, honestly, that theme when the Autobots arrive and you hear that theme, it's just, oh, the goosebumps, especially when Optimus Prime transforming into his robot mode, all these other Autobots transforming. Oh, that was peak cinema. Overall, over the past 18 years, coming up to his 20 years in 2 years' time, I would say Transformers still holds up pretty well. It's still not perfect. It has its flaws. Some Michael Bay shtick here and there, and some of the meganfox stuff, even though she's there to be hot, she's not really there to act. Even though she does have her moments, but she's just there to be pretty and looking hot for good reasons for Michael Bay too. So guys can draw in. But as a Transformers movie, as this movie stands alone, I think it's entertaining. It's a movie you can sit and watch, and I had a good time with it. It's an easy, enjoyable, guilty pleasure, flick. You can just have a good time with it. And by the end, Transformers 2007, yeah, I had a good time watching it. I'm going to give Transformers 2007 film a B. Guys, comment down below and tell me what you think of Transformers. Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright, or do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below and tell me what you think. Stay tuned, guys. I will be reviewing Transformers Revenge of the Villain very, very soon, which I will cover, which that'll be fun to talk about. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, see ya.